Hey everybody, what is going on? Hexlex here with another Master Duel video for you. Today we're going to be taking another look at Live Twin. Like I mentioned actually in the first deck profile that I did for Live Twins, once Evil Twins Trouble Sunny came out, I actually intended my first iteration to show off the Scythe lock, which is a neat little play that you can pull off with the Live Twin deck. Yes, this deck is actually capable of using Artifact Scythe, well, really using Artifact Dogda to get Artifact Scythe out, and then using that to lock your opponent out of the extra deck. And in my, I don't know, in my first iteration, I had actually included Scythe in the main deck, but forgot to include Dogda in the extra deck, so I just decided to, you know, take Scythe out of the main deck and do the rest of the games without the Scythe package at all. But however, I do think that Live Twin with the Scythe package is probably the way to go. I mean, there kind of seems no reason not to include it. It's one card in the main deck, one card in the extra deck. The deck definitely has space for both, and it's relatively easy to pull off. The only things you need to do in order to Scythe lock your opponent with this deck are open one of the Live Twin monsters, just access to either of them, and then also a copy of Live Twin Home, of which we are now playing 3. Took out one of the Ki-Sikil Frost in order to put in a Live Twin Home. It was suggested by Yang, who often comments on the videos, and is also a Live Twin fan, twinning it up. Yeah, so I also thought that this was a good choice, obviously, for the Scythe package as well, again, being Live Twin Home, rather, being needed for that combo. I'm actually going to show off that combo before we go into replays, because I didn't really get any games where I was able to cleanly do it. Well, I mean, there were games where I did, my opponent just conceded right away when they did, so we are going to see a Scythe lock, but it's not like the clean combo that you would normally do it with. So I'll show that off in solo mode, and then we'll do some replays. Otherwise, the deck has not really changed much at all. We're still playing triple Droplet, of course, being not only good in the post-adventure meta, but also just being great in this deck in general, as it helps your twins, you know, go off there. We took out one of the Lil-Las in order to make room for the Artifact Dogda. You really don't need 3 Lil-Las. You very rarely need the 3 Ki-Sikils on top of that, to be totally honest, but the Lil-La, the third one, definitely is not necessary. Yeah, otherwise we're still playing our regular suite of Disruption and Hand Traps. This deck, of course, being one of those ones that can do a lot of quote-unquote one-card combos with either of the Live Twins or a card that can get you to them. So that being the case, you're able to play a lot of Disruption, and you just have a lot of room for a lot of tech and counterplay. So, all right, let's go ahead and break the list down card by card here. Like I said, we will then go into solo mode so I can show you that combo real quick, and then we'll watch some games. So we are playing 2 Effect Veiler, 3 Maxx, 3 Live Twin Ki-Sikil, 3 Live Twin Lil-La, excuse me, 1 Live Twin Lil-La Treat, 1 Live Twin Ki-Sikil Frost, 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, 1 Ghost Belle and Haunted Mansion, 1 Artifact Scythe, 1 Nibiru the Primal Being, 1 Harpie's Feather Duster, 3 Secret Password, 3 Live Twins Sunny Snitch, 2 Called by the Grave, 3 Crossout Designator, 3 Forbidden Droplet, 3 Live Twin Home, 2 Infinite Impermanence, and 1 Evil Twin Challenge. Extra deck is going to have 1 Sky Cavalry Centaurea, 1 Downerd Magician, 1 Divine Arsenal AA-ZEUS Sky Thunder, 1 Artifact Dogda, 3 Evil Twin Ki-Sikil, 2 Evil Twin Lil-La, 1 Nightmare Unicorn, 1 Unchained Abomination, 3 Evil Twins Trouble Sunny, and then 1, oops, where is it? There we go, Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. So yeah, this deck breakdown kind of thing that I usually always do at the beginning of the videos is going to be a bit more brief because, well, 1, we've already covered the deck before, and 2, there's not really a whole lot to it, right? It's just normal summoning the Live Twin, getting the 2 links, you know, the 2 link 2s out, and then going into Trouble Sunny. From there, during your opponent's turn, you can split Trouble Sunny back into Lil-La and Ki-Sikil, allowing you to draw a card and destroy a card in your opponent's field. That seems like relatively minor disruption, but it's actually very impactful, and over the course of a couple of turns, especially, will grant you a lot of advantage. You can also, on your turn, battle with Trouble Sunny for 3,300, and then split it back into Lil-La and Ki-Sikil for a total of 5,500 damage by itself right there. So definitely not too shabby. All right, now like I said, let's show off that combo before going into some games. Okay, so right off the bat, first hand, we actually managed to open one that is capable of setting up a Scythe lock. It's pretty simple. Like I said in the deck profile part of the video. All you need is a live twin and then access to live twin home. So we got the secret password that's going to let us search any evil or live twin spell or trap cards. So we can use that to add the live twin home here. And again, now because we have Lil-La and Live Twin Home, we can pull off a Scythe lock. So I'm going to start by normal summoning Lil-La and activating the effect to grab a Ki-Sikil Frost from the deck. This is fairly normal. This is obviously how you would start anyway. But instead of going into Ki-Sikil like you ordinarily would here, we're actually going to go into Artifact Dogda right off the bat. Alright, now that we have Artifact Dogda in play, we can activate our Live Twin Home using the effect to discard a card in order to summon a Live Twin from the deck. We're going to want to use Dogda's effect because we're activating the effect of a card on the field. We can now set the Scythe directly from our deck. And it really is pretty much this simple. There's not a whole lot to it. Now we have the Scythe set up, so we're going to use Live Twin Home to summon a Ki-Sikil from our deck. And from there we can now link into Ki-Sikil, and from here it is just the regular live twin play. So you're really just throwing in that one little step there where you're adding the Dogda, or you're summoning the Dogda, and then activating the home to set the Scythe there. But yep, then from there you can summon the Lil-La monster back from the graveyard. And then go into Evil Twin Lil-La. Like I said, this is all just regular live/evil twin plays at this point. Use Lil-La's effect to bring back the Ki-Sikil. Throw that right over here. And we'll activate the effect to draw a card. Always nice to get more disruption or other combo pieces for maybe next turn. And then we can go into our Sunny Snitch. Now, during the opponent's turn, we can use Sunny Snitch effect, splitting her back into Ki-Sikil and Lil-La, and we can use that in order to pop the Scythe and make sure the opponent can't summon from the extra deck, right? We'll go Trouble Sunny, summon Lil-La, and summon Ki-Sikil. And of course now we can activate the effects, and since they're activating at the same time, you can even chain block them in whatever order you want. So you can chain block Lil-La's destruction effect to make sure it doesn't get negated, so that way your Scythe is going to go off there. And you even get another draw on top of it, so it's another chance to draw like another hand trap or something. But yep, there it is. Boom. Now we have the Scythe out. Scythe's effect activates. Opponent can't summon from there. Well, non-existent extra deck, but you get the gist here, right? So that is how to set up a Scythe lock with evil twins, evil/live twins. Now that we have demonstrated that, let's go ahead and show off some gameplay. Okay, so now we're into some gameplay. This first game is going to be against Adventure Virtual World, so it's going to be a decent back and forth match here, which actually Live Twin seems to have more of than other decks I play. Of course, probably just due to the nature of the deck being more control-y and disruptive than big combo oriented, but still cool to see. So we get pretty lucky. I mean, we had the Maxx in case our opponent went off, but opponent just has one back row and passes. I'm going to activate the secret password. We want to use that before the Sunny Snitch here, just to bait the opponent and see if they activate a Maxx here. Or not a Maxx, an Ash Blossom. They often won't. Most people know that, secret password is just like, this deck kind of has like searchers for searchers for searchers for searchers. So typically you want to Ash Blossom. Honestly, if you're playing against this deck, you want to Ash Blossom the live twin that gets normal summon, because by that point the opponent's already committed the normal summon, and they have to have one of the either treat or frost, depending on which live twin they've summoned, in order to continue their plays forward from there. So, but some people will still Ash like the secret password or the the Sunny Snitch, so it's definitely still worth it, even if you've already got like a live twin monster in hand to kind of bait those out. As you can see, we also opened Artifact Scythe, so we're not going to have to go out of our way to make Dogda in order to make the plays. So yeah, now that we've gotten the Sunny Snitch on board here, the opponent's going to use Ash. Of course, we've got the call by here, so that didn't really matter anyway, but I still wanted to point that out. I mean, it's like the same thing with Tri-Brigade, right? Back when we played that with Tenki and Fractal. If you've got a Tenki and a Fractal in hand, you still want to activate the Tenki first to try to bait out the Ash. Okay, so now that we know they don't have an Ash, we can just normal some little Lil-La here, get a Ki-Sikil Frost. You do want to get Ki-Sikil Frost instead of a regular Ki-Sikil. One, because the Ki-Sikil Frost will let you draw when your opponent searches or draws by banishing from grave. And 2, you want to keep as many copies of your quote-unquote normal live twins in your deck as possible to top deck into if you need to, so that you can go into future plays, because those are going to be the ones that will pull more copies out of your deck in order to make plays. So yeah, we've made our 2 Link 2s, now we're going to go into Trouble Sunny. Opponent does have Nibiru at this point, which does hurt, but it is what it is. It's actually not that huge of a deal, because yeah, we can just go ahead and use Sunny Snitch, or not Sunny Snitch, Trouble Sunny's effect in response here. Now we are still going to, of course, lose our evil twins. I actually did this to see if I would be able to trigger the effects, but I kind of should have known that I wasn't going to be able to, right? But I still haven't played with this deck quite that much, so I'd never been Nibiru while I had the Trouble Sunny out. So I just, again, little science experiment, wanted to see. Oh yeah, so actually here I end up making a pretty big misplay. It's purely because I saw the option to activate Trouble Sunny effect in grave, and I was like, oh yeah, Trouble Sunny, I can send an Evil Twin card from my deck to the graveyard, so I can just send Evil Twin Challenge and blow up this Nibiru, and then I can use a Lil-La to blow up the back row. So I activate the Trouble Sunny effect, and then it's not until I have to send the Ki-Sikil do I realize you gotta send an Evil Twin monster from your deck, hand or face up in the field, you know, to the graveyard. Not an Evil Twin card. So I thought I could send the trap card, Evil Twin Challenge, from deck to graveyard for this, but nope, just another case of Yu-Gi-Oh players not reading the cards. So obviously what I should have done is use Ki-Sikil to bring back Lil-La and use that to pop the Nibiru, but we're going to have to do it this way. I'll set the Artifact Scythe, because why not? We do have a Lil-La for next turn, as well as a Veiler and a C, so you know, even though he misplayed, that's fine. Opponent also didn't have much during their first turn, and sure enough, they still don't really have anything now, so still not too, another reason I wasn't rather too concerned. Feather Duster and the King Long is a little bit rough, because obviously we don't want that in graveyard. The opponent's got a Maxx C here, so here's the thing. In the past, I've been a little bit more willing to play through Maxx C, but knowing my hand in the field, I'm pretty sure that I'm not going to be able to OTK my opponent. And I also know that my opponent's hand is really bad, so I want to give them as few draws as possible. So I'll go into the Ki-Sikil here, and you know, then with the Frost, I'll get a draw of my own as well. But that's all I'm going to do at this point. I'm just going to give them 2 draws, go into the Ki-Sikil, and then have the option to bring back the Lil-La to destroy a card during the next turn. Also got the Droplet face down, which makes me feel a bit better. I could even use the Lil-La to pop the Scythe here, potentially. And I'm pretty sure that is actually exactly what I end up doing. Yeah, that's right. I was just kind of waiting for the right moment to do it here. And as soon as they normal summon Nyan Nyan, and I figured they're going to go to battle. Well, I think they got prompted to go to battle, or it said your opponent is going to end the main phase. So, of course, given that the Evil Twins effects are used during the main phase, or not, they're not used during. No, yeah, sorry, they are used during the main phase. Yeah, we got to use it then. So, using the Scythe against Virtual World is definitely very effective. Virtual World has very, very, very limited options without having access to their extra deck. Now, the thing about the Evil Twins is that they do have fairly low attack points, so you do have to keep that in mind. Even these Virtual World monsters are going to be able to battle over them, but I'm fine with the Ki-Sikil being destroyed because I can just bring it back with the Lil-La and draw a card, but the Lil-La, obviously we need to keep alive in order to bring back, so I'll use Droplet just to keep the Lil-La alive by having the attack here. Banishing that Chuchi is going to allow the opponent to destroy my Lil-La, which I did just try to protect, but here I can still bring back the Ki-Sikil, and then now I can know that I can bring back the Lil-La during the next turn, so that's another one of the cool things about playing this deck is that the Link to Evil Twins are, as long as your opponent's only like removing one of them at a time, they can just kind of like cycle into each other to make sure you're going to have both of them during your next turn as well, or during the next turn in general. Alright, here I'm going to summon Lil-La and then the Lil-La Treat, just getting more materials onto the board. Making a Nightmare Unicorn in order to put back this Lulu in order to go for, you know, the max amount of damage I can get out here, as I'm going to link these two away into the Evil Twin Lil-La. Now I can use that to bring back the Ki-Sikil, link those into Trouble Sunny, and then I can battle for lethal. Opponent's going to have the Maxx C. I don't really care at this point. I'm only going to give them, let's see, 1, 2, 3 more draws at this point, and it's pretty likely, I think, here that they're not going to be able to stop me from winning the game with just those 3 draws. And do remember, you know, because you might be wondering, like, well, wait, Nightmare Unicorn plus Trouble Sunny, that's only 5,500. Well, don't forget that we can use Trouble Sunny's quick effect during the battle phase to split them back into Lil-La and Ki-Sikil and get the remaining damage that we need in order to secure lethal, which is exactly what we're about to do here. So, just one of many, many cool ways that this deck plays and just interacts with the opponent's board, and, you know, its cards interact with each other. Just a very neat deck overall. But yeah, so let's go ahead and take a look at the next game. So this duel is actually going to be against a mirror match, which was kind of interesting. And was yet another, actually, again, like I said, with this deck, we just have so many more back and forth games. I love it. Okay, so we're going second. We do open Maxx and Droplet though, so I'm not too concerned. Generally not super concerned going second with this deck overall. Obviously this deck wants to go first, but given how much disruption and hand trap kind of cards that it plays, it's definitely not too bad at all to have to go second here. So opponent's not going to play any further into Maxx. I definitely don't fault them for that at all. Drawing a second Secret Password and Lil-La each here is definitely a bit rough. Obviously, we can only use one of each, so I'll Secret Password for Live Twin home and try to pull off a Scythe block, but yeah, given that they're going to Maxx back, that's not looking particularly likely here, so... Of course, still going to pull the Ki-Sikil Frost. I think my opponent should have pulled the Lil-La Treat from the deck rather than the regular Lil-La. Again, I'm more in favor of keeping the... you know, quote-unquote regular Live Twins in the deck to, you know, potentially a top deck if you need them, but I am still going to go for plays here, but I'm going to go for a Sky Cavalry Centaurea into ZEUS play instead of the Live Twins, because I think that's going to end up having more of an impact, plus my opponent's going to end up gaining advantage off the Maxx, so I want to be able to take off multiple instances of, or just, you know, multiple cards with one card to gain back as much advantage as possible. I'm going to pass. I'm not going to use these straight away. They are going to, you know, use the Cosmic Cyclone on my Droplet, and then, of course, use the Live Twin home as well. I'm fine with this, though. I definitely would rather have the extra ZEUS board wipe than have, you know, destroyed all of that, so... At this point, I'll Maxx. I should have Maxx'd actually earlier, but opponents had the Ash Blossom anyway, so ultimately didn't make a difference, but Maxx definitely should have come down at least a little bit sooner there. Alright, so from here, the Lil-La is going to bring back the Ki-Sikil, and then they're going to send those away. Or rather, I'm going to send those away with the ZEUS, so that way they don't go into more plays there. They do have, of course, the normal summon off the Trouble Sunny, because I believe they Live Twin homed that first one. I'll board wipe these next instance of Live Twins, and opponent doesn't have anything further after that, so... my hand's looking pretty good. I've got a whole bunch of different options here as far as just Evil and Live Twin cards. As always, starting off with Secret Password, trying to get a feel of if my opponent's got an Ash Blossom and or what other kind of responses they may have. Using the Live Twin home in junction with the Lil-La to get out you know, my Live Twins, and then opponent realizes that it's pretty easy for me to go for lethal from here. So yeah, that's another, or not another, but it's one of many reasons I like the Little Xyz package. Sometimes you don't want to commit into making like the you know, Evil and Live Twin link play for various reasons. In this game's case, again, it was because of Maxx. So being able to go into the Centaurea and then Downerd and ZEUS was the nicest way to give them the fewest draws possible while still making sure that we had a strong board presence too. So, all right, let's go and take a look at the next duel here. Next game is going to be against Unchained, which I think this is like maybe the second time ever I've played against like a pure Unchained deck. I think I have actually played against the Live Twin Unchained back before Trouble Sunny came out, and like, I don't want to say you had to play it that way, because you definitely didn't, but it was definitely, you know, Live Twins were hurting before Trouble Sunny. They definitely needed, you know, a boss monster, so. Alright, looks like the opponent is doing Unchained stuff, I guess. I don't know, again, I'm not super familiar with this archetype, but they end up ending on this Link 2 here. The Unchained Soul of Rage, which does seem like a decent card, to be fair. Basically what it does, for those who are unfamiliar, is during my main phase, they can, if I have a special summon monster on the field, I'll link summon a dark monster, using that monster as a material. So I definitely don't want that to happen. And also, if I destroy it, they get to add a Fiend monster back from grave to hand. So that I can stop with the Ghost spell, so I'm not really too concerned about that. But definitely don't want them blinking with my stuff. So I'm going to start by normal summoning the Ki-Sikil here. My plan is to definitely droplet this Unchained Soul of Rage, but with the opponent Ash Blossoming the Ki-Sikil, it's going to change up the order I do things just ever so slightly here. So now I'm going to live twin home because I have to do that to make my plays anyway. I'll send the Veiler because I don't think I'm going to end up needing it. And now I can use Droplet to send the live twin home in order to negate the Unchained Soul of Rage. And now that effect isn't going to be disrupting my plays, and I can make those without having to worry about my stuff getting leaked away and not being able to do anything. So gonna start with Ki-Sikil here, and then use that, of course, to bring back the Lil-La treat. Send those for the Evil Twin Lil-La, and then bring back the Ki-Sikil to draw a card. Could have gone to Lil-La first and then Ki-Sikil to destroy the Unchained, but it's only got 900 attack, and I'm not gonna win this turn anyway. Like, I'm not gonna OTK the opponent, so I'm not super concerned about it. I'd rather have the draw. I think the overall long-term advantage is gonna be slightly more important here. So going into Trouble Sunday, because obviously 3,300 is bigger than 2,200, that being the total of the two Link 2 monsters. So like I said, I'm just going to Ghost Spell this Link 2. Don't want my opponent to get any of their fuel back. It's funny, I tend to play a lot more cautiously against decks I'm not super familiar with, and Unchained is definitely one of those archetypes where I am just, I'm not going to lie, I'm just not familiar with them in any way, shape, or form. So here I'm going to use the Sunny Snitch effect, and even though I know Unchained's whole thing is they activate when destroyed by card effect, I'll still use Lil-La to destroy the face down monster here. Because one, you never know, it might not be an Unchained monster, or it might be one that doesn't have that kind of effect, but it is. But even if it is, we still have, like I was about to say here, the call by face down in order to negate that. So yeah, if I didn't have the call by, I might have thought a little bit harder before just snap deciding to split like that. But yeah, given that I had the call by the grave in order to make sure nothing too scary happened with that effect, I was not super concerned there. Alright, here I'm going to normal summon this Lil-La, not to try to get the effect, but because I'm going to go for game. My opponent's at 5,600, so with the Trouble Sunny and splitting back up into the Twins being 5,500, I just needed 400 more damage, and of course that came in the form of, like I said, Lil-La here. So we'll summon her, go into Trouble Sunny, move to battle phase. Gonna battle with Trouble Sunny first, just to make sure that she is good to split, and after that we're going to battle with the Lil-La and make sure we get the damage in. Now we can bring both of our evil twins back. And what luck would it have it? My opponent does actually have an effect that can activate during the battle phase and is going to stop me here. Going to stop me in that it's going to bring back this big ol' Unchained card. So I do at the very least get to reduce the attack by using Lil-La's treat. This is the first time I've actually used Lil-La treat's effect here. But I can reduce this big 3,000 attack monster down to just 1,100 attack. Still not going to battle with Ki-Sikil though, because I definitely want to be able to go into my next play here, which I will do with the live twin Lil-La I had on board. I'm going to go for Nightmare Unicorn and shuffle this Unchained monster back, just because I know if I try to destroy it, it's just going to keep coming back. So I'm also going to take a bit of a gamble here, but I'll use live twin home. And even though I'm out of cards in hand, I can now link into another Lil-La, and then with that I'm able to make another Trouble Sunny. And if I have a Trouble Sunny up, that's going to be one of the best generic disruption tools that my deck can offer. Again, being able to just draw a card and destroy a card at any time as a quick effect. It's just funny how much Trouble Sunny has changed for this deck. Like, I did try to play this deck a little bit before Trouble Sunny came out, and it was not feasible. I mean, it was like fine-ish, but definitely not as good as where it is now. Alright, I think I've got one more game I'm going to show you. Let's go ahead and go straight into it. Okay, last duel of the video here is going to be against, actually Sword Soul Tenyi. I was going to say Adventure Tenyi instead of like Habit, but nope. This was actually a Sword Soul Tenyi deck, so this game rather, is going to be mostly just usual first turn stuff, but there was a neat little interaction I wanted to talk about that I think some people might overlook. So we're going to start with the live twin Lil-La here, and of course they have a Maxx, but we have the Crossout Designator, so we can just cancel that out. I suppose also if you're not familiar with what a quote-unquote normal opening combo line with this deck looks like, this would be a good duel to watch, as well as we're going to do a bunch of really standard stuff here. So we'll use Lil-La's effect to get out the Ki-Sikil Frost. From there we're going to go into Evil Twin Ki-Sikil and bring back that Lil-La that we just sent Now from there we can link those two into the evil twin Lil-La herself, and then use that to bring back Ki-Sikil. You want to get out Ki-Sikil first because you want to bring that back from the graveyard. That way you get the draw. Otherwise, if you do the Lil-La first, then you have to bring that back, and your opponent won't have anything to destroy. So now from there, you just link those away into Trouble Sunny, and then set the rest of your stuff in pass. So, I mean, it's all, you know, really self-explanatory. You read the cards, it's pretty easy to figure out how they're all supposed to work together. Opponent's going to Imperm to force the Trouble Sunny. That is fine with me. I'll just go ahead and activate the effect. But here's the thing, though, right? You might notice that I summoned the effect Lil-La here and not the link Lil-La, as opposed to the link Ki-Sikil that I summoned here, right? So you might be wondering, like, what's up with that? Like, why didn't you summon the link Lil-La back? Well, it's actually because I have the Evil Twin Challenge here. Evil Twin Challenge is able to special summon, you know, either a Ki-Sikil or a Lil-La monster. To me, it's pretty apparent that the reason my opponent, well, may not necessarily, but I highly suspect anyway, that the reason my opponent activated Imperm on Trouble Sunny, even though I can just use the quick effect right away to activate Trouble Sunny's effect anyway, is to try to bait it out in order to prevent their card from getting destroyed by the inevitable Lil-La effect. So by keeping the Lil-La in the graveyard, I can now flip Evil Twin Challenge if I need to, and then special summon her and then destroy a card in the field still, even though my opponent used the Imperm in order to try to force it out here. So that's one of, I don't know, Evil Twin Challenge is an interesting card. It plays a lot of really, really minor rules in the deck. You definitely don't need it, but this is one of those examples of a minor rule that this card plays that actually ends up being fairly powerful here. So, alright, we're going to go ahead and let them, or let the game keep going here. We'll get our draw. We're just going to activate Vishuda's special. I've got the Maxx though, so I'm really not very concerned about it in the slightest. And of course, the opponent just concedes at that point. So, I mean, like I said, that wasn't a very intensive game, but I still wanted to stop and talk about that game for sure, because that's one of those little interactions that some people might not necessarily think about, but it is definitely important to keep in mind that, yeah, we were not forced to use our Lil-La, sorry, we were not forced to waste our Lil-La's effect by just bringing it back from the grave there. Because we had the Evil Twin Challenge, we were able to save it for later. Not that we needed it, but still an important thing to go over. All right, let's go ahead and move on now to the outro. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for watching. I very much appreciate you watching, especially to the very end like this. Live Twin, it's just like last time I played it. I was really genuinely surprised by how much I really actually love this deck. It's a ton of fun. And I'm honestly considering just laddering with it even a little bit at the start of Season 8. As I have mentioned before, I'm going to try to branch out and ladder with more decks than I usually do. Instead of like 2, maybe I'll go up to like 3 or 4 different decks I bounce between. And I could easily see Live Twins being one of those decks. It's definitely one of my favorites. Honestly, I might even like it than any of the adventure decks I've played. Like Adventure Tenny is fun, and Adventure Prank Kids is powerful, but I don't know, this deck is fun and cool. I love the theming. I'm just way into it. But in any case, let me do my usual outro spiel here. Thank you very much for watching all the way to the very end like this. I very much appreciate that. I'm especially appreciative to those who are commenting and subscribing as well, both being excellent ways to support the channel too. Comments, love to see suggestions when it comes to both deck building and gameplay. Definitely do not be shy about sharing those. And subscribing, of course, is the best way to stay up to date on what is happening with the channel and when the videos drop, which does happen every day. So if you subscribe, you do get to look forward to a daily Master Duel video from me. But that's all the time I've got for this one. Without further ado, this is XLex signing out. Hope you guys have a fantastic day.